Can you guys hear me? My Wi-Fi is going in and out, in and out. So it's going to be a bumpy live podcast this morning. Hello, squatties. Give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me. We here at Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast, we are having some technical difficulties right now. The weather has been horrible here where I live. I mean, the sun is out. Looks like a lovely day today, but my internet service has been choppy this whole weekend. So make sure you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good morning, squatties. Good morning, Success Squad. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is a live podcast, of course, obviously. So, welcome to Success Talk. And I am your host, Special K Thoughts. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome to everybody in the chat. And if you are not in the chat and you're just listening, I want to give a welcome to you as well. I want to thank all of the subscribers. And if you are not a subscriber and this is the first time that you are listening to our family chat, I'm going to need you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please, because I guarantee that you are going to love this chat that we are going to have this morning about our faves. The Duke, excuse me, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And of course, we are talking about Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, aka Meghan Markle. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see thumbs are up, so that tells me that you guys can hear me, which is awesome. And I hope it stays that way. So, before we begin, Success Squad, squatties, we are an international global squad. We are wide on all sides of the globe. We speak multi languages and we represent multi races and multicultural backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, right? There are women in the squad and there are men in the squad, right? And we cover all different age groups. We have millennials, baby boomers, what else? Generation Z, Generation X, all the generations, right? And, it has come to our attention this morning on Twitter that, basically war has been declared on the Success Squad. I'm so serious when I say that, but war has been declared on the Success Squad. Okay. I mean, we've been fighting battles here and there, right? We've been fighting battles here and there. But, an all out war, that's a capital WAR, has been declared on the Success Squad. And I'm talking about on Twitter, but not just Twitter. But, it's going to branch out to YouTube and Instagram and all the different social media platforms as well. Okay. So this morning, and I know a lot of squatties who listen to this podcast aren't on Twitter, which is probably a good thing. But on Twitter, we discovered that there are a lot of squatties who have large followings, and then there are some squatties who don't have large followings. Their accounts are being replicated. They're being replicated by fake accounts. Okay, you have some squatties who have large followings and they're finding that their accounts are being replicated like 10 times. There are like 10 different fake accounts. I mean, it's crazy. It's madness. It's weird. It's unsafe. All for what? Why? What purpose? Why? Why would outside evil forces declare war on the Sexist Squad? Why? I mean, we are an organic group of fans who just want to support our faiths, right? I mean, that's all we are. We're just an organic group of fans who are supporting our faves. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. A lot of famous people have a fan base. But I guess the difference is that a lot of famous people who have huge fan bases do not have the influence, and some would say power, that the Sexist Squad has. Right? Our influence. And what I mean by influence is that those outside forces do not like the fact that our influence creates positive change. Our influence gets the truth out. Our influence is able to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars and make a positive impact in those who are less fortunate than us lives. And when you say Success Squad that is doing all of that, who are the first people that you think of when you say Success Squad? When somebody says Success Squad, they automatically think Harry and Meghan. When a journalist writes a story about Success Squad raising $100,000 for World Central Kitchen, that person who is reading that article automatically thinks Harry and Meghan. And they think, well, damn, if Harry and Meghan fans are able to raise $100,000 for this charity, well, then, hey, Harry and Meghan, they can't be that bad. What I'm reading in the Daily Fail about Harry and Meghan on the daily basis that is so negative and so toxic, but yet they've got fans that are raising $100,000 for World Central Kitchen, Cam Fed, Kaboom, an organization that just wants to build parks for underprivileged children. Well, damn, what I'm reading in the Daily Fail and what I'm reading in the Telegraph and what I'm reading in the Wall Street Journal, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. They have declared war on us, squatties. They've declared war on this channel. For you channel members, I don't know if you've noticed, but I no longer have channel members. Why? Why is that? Who is paying attention to Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast? Who is paying attention to this channel? I do not have a very large following on this channel. I mean, it's large enough. In my opinion, if you have 10 followers, that's a large following. You understand what I'm saying? But, compared to other channels, my channel is, it's got a decent following. But not large enough to get on anybody's radar on YouTube. So channel members and subscribers, I don't know if you've noticed, but this channel has been demonetized. And that's okay, because I do not do this for the money. If I was doing this for the money, I would be putting out 10 podcasts every freaking day, like a lot of those hate channels do. I guarantee you there is, well, I don't want to say I guarantee you, but I'm pretty sure the majority of pro-success channels do not have channels because they're in it for the money. Okay, but yes, Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast has been demonetized just for a month. But somebody put the word out on this channel. And the reason why it was demonetized is because they don't like some of the things that I have said about the royal family. Okay? Trying to make this channel like it's some kind of damn hate channel. This is not no freaking hate channel. This channel is pointing out truths. And this channel is pointing out opinions about them welfare queens. It's okay for other channels to literally say that they want Meghan Markle to die, but those channels continue to thrive. But just because I talk shit about those airheads and old Betty and Sausage Fingers and Cowchilla, this channel gets demonetized. But that's okay, because I'm going to say what I want to freaking say, because I really don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about the money. I don't. Yes, yes, yes. This version of Success Talk, Special K Thoughts, is going off. We're going to talk about some positivity as well, but I got some shit to say. The royal family is mafia, people. That is a mafia corporation. They're not a fucking family. They have declared war on the Success Squad the same way that they've been declared war on their own family, which is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They want to wipe us out the same way they want to wipe out the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And it's a damn shame. We're ordinary people. The Success Squad, we're ordinary people that are just living our lives and taking care of our families. And all we want to do is support our faves and just make sure that truths are being spoken about them. And we just want to make sure sorry, I just lost train of thought. But we want to make sure that we are continuing to live a life of service the way our faves are. So whoever contacted YouTube about this channel, I say fuck you. Because I'm going to continue to say what I want to say, and I'm going to say it how I want to say it. Because I'm not in it for the money, bitch. I'm not. You don't want me to talk shit about the royal family? Then tell them to act fucking right. Tell them to leave Harry and Meghan the fuck alone. Tell them to call off their dogs. Call off Murdoch. Call that bitch off. Because it's obvious that he has decided to use the Wall Street Journal to attack Harry and Meghan. He's been using the New York Post. But boy, oh boy, this weekend was something else. And now this morning, a lot of squatties on Twitter have discovered that their accounts are being replicated. And when I say replicated, I really mean replicated. I'm saying like 5, 10, 15 different accounts. When it comes to Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World podcast on Twitter, I think I've only been replicated twice, which is okay. But it's just interesting to me that all of a sudden YouTube decided to review my channel, a channel that barely has 100 podcasts. But oh, YouTube decides to review my channel. And now I'm demonetized just because I was talking shit about the royal family. Interesting. So, squatties, before we get started, well, actually, we are started. Mental health. Mental health is so important. Okay. Make sure that you are taking care of your mental health. Okay. If you got to log off for a little while, it's okay. It's okay to disconnect from the internet. It's okay to disconnect. Well, not disconnect from the internet because damn, I know I need the internet, but it's okay to disconnect from social media. Okay. It really, really is. It's okay to disconnect for a couple of days and then come on back and continue the fight. All right. But I'm telling you now, and if there's anybody from YouTube or if there's any derangers that are listening, I don't give a damn. I'm still going to talk shit about the royal family. When they stop, I'll stop. Okay? Because none of us are in it for the money. Okay? You don't see squatties with channels going on vacation and then showcasing that shit on their YouTube channel and their Twitter channel. Okay? You guys understand what I'm saying? You don't see squatties who have podcasts, right? Who have memberships going on vacation and taking pictures and then showing those pictures on their channels because those vacations were paid for because of the memberships, right? You don't see squatties doing that. You see a lot of people with hate channels doing that. And I just don't understand those type of followers. It's like, bitch, do you realize that you paid for that person's vacation? The money that you're giving that person, they're not putting it back into their damn channel. They're out there buying houses and shit. But anyway, it's a time, isn't it? It's a time. I'm going back into the channel. I'm sorry, not the channel, but the chat room because I was walking around while I was talking. Going back into the chat, looking to see what you guys are talking about because we are living in some, I don't want to say dangerous, but I am just going to say it, dangerous times. It's hard out here in these streets being a Success Squad fan. It's hard out in these streets being a squatty, being a part of the Success squad, being a Duke and Duchess of Success fan. Has anybody ever heard of another fan base being targeted? Seriously. Has anybody heard of that? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The Duke and Duchess of Success, their success is that much of a threat to the royal family? Because if they are, then the royal family needs to be canceled. They need to be canceled. For real. All right. I'm going back into the chat, see what you guys are talking about. And a good morning and a good afternoon to everybody. Oh, let me know where you guys are from as well. All right. So, Monroe Taylor Classic Movie Channel. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen you before. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Says already has. I was wondering about all the heat. Yeah, there's a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's really a good idea. So, Mina Ruth 2093 says, that's why I keep my social media accounts private. Mrs. S says, because they are evil forces. They are. Very evil. Adrian Barrow says, why? Because the truths are coming out, special case. So true. That is so true. Miss Joan Garcia says, oh, they must think they can control the Sexa Squad. That's what they think. Either control us or scare us. Which makes absolutely no sense. All right, I'm still looking in the chat. So H Knight says they are trying to silence the squad so Meghan and Harry doesn't have anyone supporting them and they can keep telling their lies without anyone pushing back on their lies. So true. They are really trying to silence us. They really are. And I think the because I was talking to a friend of mine and my friend was like, well, what's the end game? Like, what's the goal? I said the goal is to break those two up and for Prince Harry to leave Meghan and their children and come back to the UK. I said that's what the goal is. The goal is to break those two up. They want Meghan to be like, you know what, I'm done. Or Prince Harry to go crazy and Meghan's like, I'm done. I can't deal with you no more. That's what the goal is. That's what the end goal is. Which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me to be that invested into someone's life like that. I'm talking about the haters. However, when it comes to the royal family, I it's like somebody was saying on Twitter. It all boils down to racism. They're really that mad that Meghan is half black. To be that invested to target a fan group. Come on now. Come on. All right. I'm back in the chat room. I'm looking at comments here. Yeah. Ms. Jones says, Special K, that's why I'm not interested in having a Twitter account. My life won't be affected. And that's good. I mean, I mainly have a Twitter account because I have this channel. But, it's a way to connect with squatties. But at the end of the day, there are other social media platforms that you can use to connect with squatties. All right. Okay, this is a username I'm not familiar with. California Native. Hi, California Native. Says Harry and Meghan should definitely and defiantly kick the name Mountbatten Windsor to the curb along with those ridiculous titles and and unapologetically change their name to Harry and Meghan Spencer. I mean, me personally, I don't think that's going to matter. I really honestly don't. And my thing is, why should they? Why should they, California Native? That is Prince Harry's birth name. Well, I don't know if that's his birth name because they don't have surnames, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what he is. He's a Mountbatten Windsor. They should be allowed to use those last names and those titles. Because even if they were to do what you say, the hate and the attacks are not going to stop. They're just not. Meghan Markle, that name is more powerful, in my opinion, than the Duchess of Sussex. Why? Because when Meghan married Harry, the British media, in the beginning, they refused to call her the Duchess of Sussex, and they continue to call her Meghan Markle. And here in America, titles they're hard for us to say, right? Because we're not used to titles. We're not we're not used to Duke and Duchess and that stuff. So here in America, we continue to call her Meghan Markle. Me personally, I wish they would just go by Prince Harry and Meghan. Me personally, but I hear what you're saying. Yes, guys, I do have a PayPal account. Um, if you go on the main page, it's that account is in the banner on the main page. But again, I'm not in it for the money. Um, but any donations would be appreciated. Um, this account is being demonetized for 30 days. They want me to clean some stuff up. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to clean stuff up. All this shit I was talking. So basically, there's some podcasts. There's there's a couple of podcasts that they pointed to that they want me to delete. Let's put it that way. And I have to think about it. I got to think about it. Okay. Okay. I got to think about it. I don't know. I might delete them and I might not. All right. Hi, sis. How you doing? How you doing? VS speaks royally. All right. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Well, I mean, why am I saying that? I mean, we are having a chat, aren't we? We're already having a chat. So sis says, VS Speaks Royally says they want H back at whatever cost. Bam. I mean that's what it is. They want him back at whatever cost. At whatever cost. Instead of just accepting his wife and his beautiful children, you know, they want him back single, childless, and miserable. They don't care about Prince Harry. They don't care that he's happy with his wife. They don't care about his well being. They just want him back. They just want him back so he can do all of the work. You guys notice that? King Charles wants a slim down monarchy, and the royal shitty ass reporters will say, well, that's a good thing. But then in the next breath, they'll say, but how is that going to work? Because the royal family has all of these charities and all of this work that they have to do. And half of the working royals are, you know, of the geriatric generation. They're old. I don't know who that one royal is. The real old looking man. I mean, that man looked like he can croak any day. I don't know who he is, but he's dedicated now. I'm not going to knock him because he's dedicated. I think he's one of the queen's cousins. That's a dedicated man now. Life of service, life of duty, which is fine. Great, awesome. Okay, but when I see that man, I think elderly abuse. I really honestly do. I think elderly abuse. He looks like he is 2 hours from just croaking out. Okay? And then the other royals, I guess what is it? The Kents, and I don't really know these fools. I don't. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The royals that are usually on the right side, way out the picture. I mean, they're allowed to be on the balcony, but when it comes to the picture, they're usually way to the right to where you can barely see them. Them old ass royals. They look like they're in their late 70s and 80s. So really all King Charles and Count Chilla have is the airheads and the Uncle Eddie and Fiesta, Ford Fiesta. Right? So they got the airheads and they got Ford Fiesta and Uncle Eddie. And we all know the airheads are lazy. That's a lazy bunch. Right? So what's going to happen when King Charles croaks? It's just going to be the airheads, Ford Fiesta, and Uncle Eddie. And the rural rodent commentators, they realize and they understand and they are acknowledging that Fab Four is not enough. The so-called new Fab Four is not enough. It's not. And when you look at those pictures, there is no charm and no charisma in that bunch. So they want Prince Harry back. They want Prince Harry back because they think that he can go ahead and pick up the slack. He can be the do boy, right? He can be the do boy and be out there shucking and jiving and smiling and shaking everybody's hand and picking up all the redheaded babies and holding them. And he can go ahead and reconnect with the Commonwealth countries. And he can bring back that charm and that charisma back into that family. That's what they want Prince Harry for. They know they need him But see, they don't want Megan back because they know Megan will outshine them all. And if you have Prince Harry and Meghan back together, Ford Fiesta and Uncle Edward, they're out. And then Prince Harry and Meghan together, they're going to outshine those airheads again. That's why they want Prince Harry back, like my sis is saying, at any cost. Any cost. Those are key words right there. Any cost. They want him back by himself. They don't give a damn about his kids. And they really, honestly, they don't give a damn about his wife. All right. I'm back looking into the chats. Ooh, I hope you guys can hear me because my Wi-Fi. I don't get that many bars on my Wi-Fi. Okay, all right. All right, sexist talk. H&M, battle of the toxic press. Woo! And it's a battle. It's more than a battle. It's a war. It's a war. Like I said, they've declared war on the squatties. They do not want these two together. They just don't. Like my sis said, VS speaks royally, and she's speaking royally. They want Prince Harry back at any cost. Point blank, period. Why? There are a lot of reasons why, but the main reason why they want him back at any cost is because they cannot stand and they literally hate his wife. They hate her. They hate her. Okay, so the Invictus Games. You guys heard about this? The Invictus Games. We all know that the Invictus Games is coming up soon, right? Is that in September? September? Is there anybody going? Anybody going? But the Invictus Games is coming up in September. I can't wait for that. And the news came that Macklemore is going to be at the opening ceremonies. Now, to be honest, I didn't know that this guy was still around. I remember when he had hits, but hey, I know he has a huge fan base. So awesome that Macklemore, I don't know how to say his name, is going to perform at the opening ceremonies. I hope and I pray that they're able to get, you know, who would I love to see? Who would you guys love to see at the opening ceremonies at the Invictus Games at Dusseldorf in that's supposed to start in September of this year? What performing act would you guys like to see? I would love to see it. And they've done it already, but I would love to see them again. The Foo Fighters. I would love to see the Foo Fighters at the opening ceremony at the Invictus Games again. Or, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I, that's what I would love to see. Can you imagine if they got somebody like Drake? Whoo, that would be huge. Or Rihanna, that would be huge too. But yeah, so the Invictus Games is September will be here before you know it, guys. September will be here before you know it. Right? I mean, oh, that's a good one. I'm looking in the chat, guys. Rose Hill says that she loved to see Elton John and Harry say that. Hey, hand clap for that. Now that would be awesome. That would be awesome to see that. Right. I don't know if I told you guys, but my mom, I had gotten my mom a present. My mom, huge Elton John fan. I mean, huge, right? And he did recently his last tour, and I was able to get my mom tickets. He played in Charleston, South Carolina, and I was able to get my mom tickets, and boy, I mean, she loved it. She absolutely loved it. So I was so happy I was able to, do that for her. But yes, 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 Rose Hill, that would be awesome to see Elton John there. That it would be. Somebody says, let's see here. So Lottie says, I'd like to see Beyonce at the opening ceremony. You and the whole world, girl. You and the whole world. Now, I've admitted on this channel that I'm not a huge Beyonce fan. Okay, I've said that a few times on this channel. Um, but let me tell you, when Beyonce released "You Can't Break My Soul," the very first time I heard that song, I instantly loved it, and I actually bought it. I actually went on um, iTunes and bought that single, and I ended up buying the whole album on iTunes. Beyonce. Okay, she has turned me around. I'm a casual fan now. I'm a casual fan of Beyonce. It took a long time. It took years, right? Because I was just the type of person that it just seemed like to me the only way that I'm gonna like a Beyonce song is if I hear it 1,000 times. Right? It's like if I hear the song 1,000 times, then I end up liking it. It seemed like I was like brainwashed to like her music. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I really don't like her music. I mean, there's a couple of songs by her that I liked. Right. Like what's the song? Just Me, Myself and I love that song. And Baby Boy with Sean Paul, that was my jam. Right. And I liked Upgrade. There's just a couple of singles here and there by her I liked, but I just felt like she was overrated. Sorry if there's any, beehives in the chat or listening, but I just thought Beyonce's overrated. But let me tell you something. That album, her new album, classic. You Can't Break My Soul, classic. I love B for that. And the videos that I'm seeing from her current world tour, Jesus. And Beyonce is 40, right? I bet she has a mad, crazy workout. Not trying to throw shade on B, okay? But is she looking a little lighter? Or is it just me? I mean, she looking a little lighter to me. But anyway, um, it is what it is with that. But yeah, if Beyonce performed at the opening ceremonies, I would not be mad at that. I wouldn't be. Oh, okay, so I'm seeing in the chat that Beyonce is 41. Okay, so me and her are very close in age. Okay. For some reason, well, I'm 42, but she's got a mad workout because the videos that I'm seeing at her current world tour, that girl is getting it. Okay? I mean, she's getting it. She always has. Right? She always has. But, you know, when we get older, we get a little tired. But she looks like that she's soldiering through. Yeah, so okay, so April May, you agree with me. I'm not a fan of her either, but like a few songs of hers, she is overrated. Now I have a niece who worships. Literally worships Rihanna. Right? Rihanna is a goddess. Okay. And I mean, she talks all kinds of crap about Beyonce. Ah, she's overrated. Nah, 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 nah. But then I look at my niece and I'll be like, girl, but Rihanna, her vocal skills really ain't all that. All right, so anyway. Okay, let's get off that subject right there. Invictus Games. Okay, opening ceremony. Macklemore. I guess he's a rapper. I'm thinking. From what I remember about him when he had hits. So can't wait for that. The Invictus Games in Dusseldorf will start, I believe, September of this year. So I'm pretty sure squaddies who are going will take plenty of pictures and plenty of video. And it looks like that the different teams from the different countries that are participating in the Invictus Games are already training. And I just love to see it. And at the end of the day, go Team USA. All right. Okay, Cintabale. Did you guys hear about this? They are going to have the Polo Cup. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The Polo Club, ISPS Handa Polo Club 2023, and it's going to be held in Singapore. Singapore Polo Club. So that's awesome. That is awesome. See, at the end of the day, even though there's a lot of noise going around, Archwell, Harry and Meghan, and their charities are moving on. They're sticking to the program, right? Think life continues to go on. So the Polo Club 2023 is going to be held Saturday, August 12th, and it's going to start at 7 p.m. and it's going to end at 10:30 p.m. And it's going to be held at the Intercontinental Singapore. I can't read, but that's the address on there. And of course, looks like they're gonna have dinner, and they list the dinner ticket prices. And if you're gonna go, I would get your tickets as soon as possible because I have a feeling this thing is going to sell out quick. Okay, it's going to sell out quick, and it's going to raise a lot of money. I was so happy, so happy when Cintibale did the Polo Cup in the United States in Colorado. Oh my God, I thought that was just so awesome. Isn't that what where they did it at the last time? And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but didn't they have the Polo Cup in Colorado, or was that just a fundraising event that they had? But anyway, whatever they did in Colorado, it raised so much money. That was awesome. All right, so Prince Harry, he is continuing to do big things, and if you guys can go, go. I just think it's great that they're doing something in Singapore. Don't you? International. You talk about international, global, right? Um, reach right there. All right. Okay. So, did you guys see this? I came across this on Twitter, and I thought it was great. I thought it was great to hear um, what this person had to say, and it's funny because we were just talking about Elton John, right? Weren't we just talking about Elton John? And shoot. We were just talking about Elton John, and now this guy right here. Hold on a second. Hold on. My dog is acting up again. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. I'm back. What is it? 3 podcasts in a row. I've had to stop and check my little Yorkie. But anyway, this guy right here, this is Elton John's partner. Okay, and he's been Elton John's partner for years, right? For years, and his name is David Furnish. And it's not that he's just Elton John's partner, but this man right here is a big time, powerful producer in Hollywood. Okay, huge. And it's my understanding that David and Megan produced together the the cartoon series that was going to come out on Netflix. Remember that? And Netflix ended up canceling all of their cartoon series and any upcoming projects, right? Remember that got canceled. It was about the 12-year-old um female, and I believe this female was going to be of color, and it was going to be, I forgot, like the backdrop of that cartoon, but it was going to be about this 12-year-old female, who I believe um had some time, like had adventures. It basically was going to be based on women's rights, right? Something to that effect. But Megan and David Furnish were going to be the co-producers of that cartoon series. And like I said, Netflix made the decision to cancel all of their cartoon series and any upcoming projects. So that ended up getting cut. But Mr. David Furnish, who is Elton John's partner, but he's not just Elton John's partner. I mean, this man is a well accomplished, successful uh, producer. And I believe he was on Sky News, right? Was he on Sky News, guys? And of course, they had to ask him about Prince Harry. They had to ask him about Prince Harry. And he said, he's fine. He's great. He's taking a lot of flack in the media. And you have to remember, he's taking on the media. He was very pleased with the way things went in court. He's doing really well. Okay. And I mean, he said it with his whole chest. He didn't stutter. He didn't look up. He made direct eye contact when he said that whole paragraph, and I believe he also said that he talks to Harry quite frequently. So it was great to hear that, because I'm pretty sure that was stressful for Prince Harry at times, to be on the stand and to get cross-examined and have to relive some traumatic things in his life, when he was at the recent court hearings for the lawsuit against the press, basically the Mirror, right? So it was great to hear David Furnish, who's this big time producer and who is Elton John's partner. And he's been Elton John's partner for years. So awesome, 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 awesome to hear that. And I believe him. I believe him. I think he's telling nothing but the truth, nothing but facts. I think Prince Harry, once he got all of that off his chest, he's moving on. Prince Harry, I believe, feels like he's already won. Right? Doesn't matter the outcome. He's already won. right? It does not matter the outcome. He has already won. All right. Okay. I wish I would have got a better picture. But this Spotify subject, they're still talking about it, right? They're still talking about how Spotify and Archwell Productions have mutually agreed to go their separate ways. But they're still talking about it. There's all these different stories coming out about, why Spotify and Archwell Productions did not renew, you know, archetypes for a second year. So there's all these stories coming out. Of course, you had the blowhard guy who called Prince Harry and Meghan grifters, right? Is that the word, grifters? Um, and you just got all these stories coming out, saying that one of the reasons why they couldn't come to a mutual agreement was because um, archetypes did not put out enough product for the contract, this, that, and the other. And then of course you had the wild rumor that came out that Meghan wasn't even doing the interviews, right? And we all knew that that was impossible. There was no way that that rumor was true, because if you honestly listen to the podcast, there is too much back and forth and interaction between Meghan and her guest. There's no way you can fake that. There's no way that you can edit that. There's just no way. Okay. But while I was listening to archetypes, I mean, it was obvious to me that there were some segments where she had the experts on, right? That she didn't interview them. Okay. I mean, to me, it was obvious to me, just like it's obvious to me on other podcasts that I've listened to, well, they'll have like another guest, or they'll feature like another expert, right? To where you could tell that that person is not being interviewed right then and there in real time in the studio with the host. Okay. But come on now. Haters are haters. I mean, come on, Special K thoughts. Haters are haters, and they forget what they say when they were hating 6 months ago. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Remember when the first episode came out of Archetypes? The first episode when Meghan interviewed Serena, right? What was the main complaint that the haters had about that episode? Seriously, what was the main complaint that the haters had about the episode with Serena Williams? Does anybody remember in the chat? What were they hating about? What were they complaining about? Anybody in the chat remember? They were hating and they were complaining about Meghan. They were saying that Meghan was making the interview all about her, and she was not allowing Serena to talk more. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Oh, that's not the quote. I clicked the wrong quote. My bad. Lauren says talking over Serena. Exactly. Right? What weren't they hating on Meghan for that? Remember that? Lorna. Lorna Murray says, "Hi Lorna." Says Meghan talking over her. Exactly. Wasn't that the main complaint? Oh, Megan's not letting Serena talk. She's talking over her. Megan's making it about her. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. So now that Spotify and Archwell Productions have mutually agreed not to renew a second contract, now this rumor is coming out saying that Megan didn't interview her guest when a year ago you guys were complaining, saying that she was talking over her guests and making it about her. Make that make sense. Okay? It's like y'all forget why you guys are hating, right? It's like they forget reasons why they are hating because they're just hating. You understand what I'm saying? They're just hating. They forget reasons why they hate because they're just hating. They're just being killjoy Becky's, right? But anyway, back to what I got on the screen right here. The rumor that came out that Megan, didn't interview her guests, which we all knew that wasn't true, right? Especially with the Paris Hilton um interview. I mean, that Paris Hilton interview really got to me. I don't know what it is about that interview, but whoo, that interview got to me. Oh, that was a good interview. But back to what we got going on the screen here. So the rumor that came out, like I said, about Megan, probably didn't interview her guests. Well, Andy Cohen, who was featured on the last podcast, which I thought was really, really good. It was Andy Cohen, Trevor Noah, and I'm sorry, I forgot the other guest name. But Andy Cohen was on what is this mess right here? Because I used to watch this until I realized that they are nothing but haters. What is this? US Royals or something like that? Whatever the heck this magazine is. It's a US magazine that has a they have like a royal section. Is it USA? I need to do better. Anybody in the chat help me out. But I used to watch this until they turned into a hateration um, media outlet against Harry and Meghan. Let me look in the chat real quick. Okay, so it's U.S. It's some U.S. magazine, but anyway, and Candy, thank you, 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 Mary. So Mary says it's U.S. Weekly. Thank you. So U.S. Weekly, Andy Cohen was on here. He was being interviewed. And of course, this interviewer, I used to know her name because I used to actually like her, but I can't stand her. Of course, she threw out the Megan question. She asked Andy, was he interviewed by Megan? And she's telling Andy Cohen that this rumor came out that that Megan didn't really interview her guest and this, that, and the other. And I'm telling you, if you have a chance to see it, please watch it because Andy Cohen looks like he's looking at her like, what the hell are you talking about? Like when she's asking him this question, right? And he basically tells her, no. Like, where did that silly rumor come from? He's like, no, she interviewed me. Like, he was like, it's an interview, it's a conversation, it's a podcast, it's a conversation between guests, right? And he straight up denied that rumor. He was like, no, that's just not true. And he's basically said that that rumor is like ridiculous. Like, it's past ridiculous. Like, who would come up with something like that? But what I noticed when he was talking, this host, in my opinion, seemed like she didn't want to accept his answer. Did anybody else notice that? She seemed like she just didn't want to accept his answer, accept what he was saying. she seemed like to me she still kept prying. And while I was watching it, I was just like, these people in media, some people in media, right? I mean, they seriously need to check themselves. And what I mean by that is that you call yourself a journalist, right? Or you call yourself somebody who went to college, who majored in journalism, communications, whatever the case may be, right? It's like when you're interviewing somebody and they give you an answer, okay? Your face is not supposed to show how you feel, okay? So it's like these people, it's like they can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves. But anyway, Andy said when she asked him, he said, "Of course. Of course I spoke with Megan, and she definitely interviewed me. That's an insane rumor." He's like, "That's an insane rumor." Okay, he's like, "Hello, that rumor doesn't even make any sense." Okay, and I guess my point about the host was when he was saying this, she just looked like she wasn't expecting that answer. I guess is what I'm trying to say. She looked like she wasn't expecting that answer, and she looked like she was very disappointed in his answer. And I'm just like, girl, check yourself. Like, check yourself. It's like when you do interviews, you really need to rewatch the interview and watch yourself and watch your facial expressions. But maybe these people don't care. Maybe these people don't care, right? But I hope more people, more celebrities, I hope more people who were actually on archetypes and that were interviewed by Megan speak out, right? I hope more do. Um, so they can say, "Hey, no, I mean, she interviewed me. I mean, we were in the studio together. She interviewed me." Or maybe they weren't in the studio together because I believe that the interview that Megan did with Mariah Carey, I think Mariah Carey was actually like on a video screen, right? Because didn't Mariah say that she had went to bed, that she had went to a party the night before, and she went to bed in the dress that she went to the party in, and so so she woke up that morning and just kept the dress on. I love me some Mariah Carey. Okay, I just love Mariah Carey. But anyway, I'm just like, I'm going back in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Exactly. There you go. Lottie. Lottie says Andy didn't say what she wanted him to say. She wanted Andy to call Megan a liar. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. She wasn't expecting that answer. And she did not understand why his face looked like that either. She, in my opinion, thought that Andy was going to play the game, stick to the agenda, and the agenda is to hate on Meghan Markle. Now, I could be wrong, but I just don't think I am. Okay, I'm still looking in the chat to see what you guys are talking about. Is she a Kate supporter? So Carolyn says she is one of Kate's supporters. And at the end of the day, she could be a Kate supporter. That's fine. But my thing is that when you're interviewing somebody, right, you should always have an objective disposition, right? If you don't agree with that person or if you're disappointed in what that person is saying, right, it shouldn't be written all over your face because this person is telling you their experience. And Andy Cohen, he's not some schmuck. Okay, he is a powerful producer, and he's been a powerful producer on many different TV shows for decades now. Hey Sherry. So Sherry Ware says, Special K, these Karen interviewers don't care that their bias against Megan is showing. Yeah, I agree with that. I do. Yes. Agnes says his face was the best. It was. His face was because he looked confused. Like, what? Like, really? Are you serious? And another thing I forgot to bring up was she started off the interview on a negative note about Megan. She did. I don't have word for word what she said, but she started off with a negative pretense in regards to Megan. She started off basically saying how, Megan wasn't too sure about the Real Housewives series and this, that, and the other. And his response was basically, oh, well, I'll have to invite her on the show and we can talk more about that. Right. She wasn't at the end of the day, she wasn't getting what she wanted from him, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. Okay, guys. Yay! It's time for our Shut Up Fool segment. Okay, I mean, when Aunt Esther enters the chat, it's about to get brutal. Oh, no, Mrs. S. No, you didn't. Mrs. S says the Botox have her face frozen in that position. Homegirl could not help herself. Let me see. Yeah, she might got some Botox going on up in there. Maybe some filler action going on up in there. Like I said, I used to like her now. It was her and a blonde that used to be on there, and I don't know her name. But to be honest, I think the blonde left because she was tired of the Meghan and Harry hate. I could be wrong, but I think she got tired of the Meghan and Harry hate, and she just kind of moved on. But yeah, you might got a point there, Mrs. S. All right, guys. Aunt Esther has entered the chat. Shut up, fool. It's time for our Shut Up Fool segment. And it's this fool. I've already talked about this idiot. I've already talked about this man. I've already talked about this devil, this evil person. And I'm talking about Murdoch. Okay. Like I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, war has been declared on the Success Squad. Okay. And Murdoch has declared war on Harry and Meghan this past weekend. Okay. Now he's been battling Harry and Meghan. Okay. Using the New York Post. Using Pissy Morgan. TV Talk. Right? But man, I mean, he really declared war this past weekend with the Wall Street Journal. Now he owns the Sun, he owns the Times, he owns the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, TMZ. That's another media outlet that he's been using to battle Harry and Meghan with so much negativity, right? And there's some other media outlets that he owns as well. But whew, I mean, he really declared war on Harry and Meghan using the Wall Street Journal, which is an American newspaper. It's an American media outlet. And the Wall Street Journal used to be a very well respected newspaper. Seriously. And in some circles it still is. But man, Murdoch, he is turning it into another trash ass tabloid. And he showcased that this weekend with the way that he targeted Harry and Meghan in regards to this Spotify deal. Okay. Why is he doing it? Why is he gunning so hard for Harry and Meghan? I mean, he's been doing it, but boy, I mean, he literally declared war on them this past weekend. You go on Twitter, I mean, he's got some of the writers posting negative posts now about Harry and Meghan. I mean, to me, it's so unprofessional. Boy, journalistic integrity has gone way out the window. I mean, they just threw that shit on out the window, right? Journalists should not be posting on Twitter negative things about famous people, in my opinion, because that means that you are not objective. Okay, you're not objective. So when you wrote that article, you were not objective. You were subjective. Okay. But I mean, he had a couple of his journalists posting negative stuff about Harry and Meghan. Right. I saw at least 3 or 4 of them on Twitter talking shit. And trust me, I think they were very surprised by the pushback that they were getting. Okay. I mean, and he had the Wall Street Journal, I mean, write this whole article about how Harry and Meghan are Hollywood flops. Okay. And now they're claiming that they've spoken to people who work for Archwell that are saying that Archwell, they're not too sure what direction that they're going in and this, that, and the other, and yada, 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 which we all know that's a lie. Archwell Foundation exactly knows the direction they want to go into. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Even the haters know what Archwell Foundation's agenda is, what their mission is. Their mission is to support charities that support mental health, military, women's rights, and those who are underprivileged. Duh! What the hell you mean that Archwell Foundation doesn't know what direction they want to go into? That's a lie. That don't make no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Prince Harry is always talking about mental health. And if he's not talking about mental health, he's talking about the military, the veterans. Meghan. What is Meghan's agenda? Women's rights, gender equality. I mean, come on. Can't they come up with a better lie than that? Right? That fell on deaf ears. Right? That fell on deaf ears. But anyway, this fool right here, he done declared war on Harry and Meghan, and he's been using the New York Post. Right? He's been using the New York Post. He's been battle of the toxic press, right? Battle of the toxic press. He's been using the New York Post, and I'm talking about here in America. He's been using the New York Post, and he's been using TMZ. But now he's using the Wall Street Journal. Why? Because the Wall Street Journal, in many American people's eyes, is a credible paper. Okay? There are a lot of Americans who view the Wall Street Journal as a credible, objective newspaper. And now this man's about to turn it into a tabloid because he's mad at Prince Harry, because Prince Harry is suing the Sun. The Sun, which is one of the papers that Murdoch owns. Okay. I saw on Twitter somebody had posted that they believe that Murdoch is using witness intimidation. And I thought that that person brought up a very valid point. I think this person runs a podcast, a pro sexist podcast. Okay. This person, had posted that Murdoch is doing witness intimidation. Murdoch believes that if he can use all of his newspapers here in America, in Australia, and in Britain, the UK, to trash and continually trash Harry and Meghan, that Harry is going to back off this lawsuit, which we all know Harry's not going to do that. I mean, that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. But the thing about Murdoch is, his time is coming. His time is coming. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. This fool, I mean, he already what? Almost $1 billion to what is it? What was the company that sued his ass, that sued Fox? And he sat up there and testified and basically somebody told me he basically told the truth, right? Basically admitted, right, that they was lying. Um what was it? The Dominion. I got to do better. But you guys know that lawsuit that that the Fox Corporation um was facing because they lied saying that the voting machines were fraudulent, and that's how come Trump lost the election. Let me go on the let me Google this real quick. Dominion, that's right. The Dominion lawsuit. I mean, his corporation, Fox Corporation, they settled actually, right? For almost $1 billion. And I believe that there's still more lawsuits to come. Okay. So this man right here, is that how much it was? Yeah, it was the Dominion voting machines. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Thank you, Denise. So Denise says it was Dominion voting machine, and Smartmatic is coming for Murdoch's butt too for $1.6 billion. Wow. Okay, so for the Dominion voting machines, right? They settled, right? Murdoch settled for almost $1 billion, and so now there's another company called the Smartmatic. They're suing Murdoch for $1.6 billion. This man is almost done. Okay. He's almost done. But see, his ego is probably so big that he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it yet. Okay. But again, shut up, fool. Just shut up. But he's not. And it brings me back to the squad. Okay. He's not only gunning for Harry and Meghan, he's gunning for us too. Okay. He's gunning for us too. And I know a lot of people believe that it's KP and it's the royal family, but he's a part of this as well. And the royal family has probably given him a green light to declare war on Prince Harry and Meghan, as well as the fans, because they realize how much Prince Harry and Meghan's fans have influence. And, we do have some power because we do. It's hard for us to admit that we do have some power, right? Because we are an organic movement. We come together organically. Okay. A lot of the majority of us squatties have never met each other in person, right? Okay. Like I've met one squatty in person. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that the majority of us have no clue how big the Success Squad is, right? We just don't. And I think that's a wonderful thing. That's why we're so influential. And that's why we have some power because there are no leaders in this movement, right? And it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay that way because we're too big now to have a leader. We're too big. We're too global to have a leader. Okay. And we do not need a leader in this squad. All right. So again, this man, his downfall is coming. Trust me, it's coming. Okay, did you guys read this story? Some positivity. Anybody get a chance to read this? I haven't. I advise people to read it, but the director of Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary, Liz Garbus, um, she sat down with the LA Times, where she discussed getting to know Harry and Meghan and her documenting their journey and how she was able to build trust with them so they would be able to tell their story. And again, I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I don't want to speak too much about it. But from what I'm hearing, that it was a really good article in the LA Times. And that's one thing that we squatties have to remember, that even though there's a lot of negativity out there, like the Wall Street Journal, you do have other media outlets like the LA Times, right, that report objectively. And I do believe that's probably what the difference is between the United States and the UK, is that at least here there is some balance. It may not feel that way and it may not look that way, but there is. There is some balance here in the United States. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, I mean, it's not the only newspaper out there, right? Okay. And the LA Times, they're a little more objective, right? And you got USA, you got the USA a newspaper that there's been articles that I've read in there where they're pretty objective. Um, and sometimes the New York Times, they kind of go back and forth. Sometimes they'll have opinion pieces that appear to be negative about Harry and Meghan, and then sometimes they'll have opinion pieces that are very supportive of Harry and Meghan, and that's how it should be, right? Right. But keep in mind, Liz Garbus, the Harry and Meghan documentary series. It is Netflix's most watched documentary debut. And the last time I was on Netflix, it was still in the top 10 most viewed, at least on my TV screen. That's what it said. Okay. Still, that Harry and Meghan docuseries on Netflix, that is not going nowhere anytime soon. Okay. I mean, seriously, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I've heard that it's in the running, right? That it's in the running for some Emmys. Okay, they have to vote, right? It's got to get enough votes to be nominated for an Emmy. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if it ends up being one of, if it gets a nomination uh, for an Emmy. Excuse my verbiage. And I wouldn't be surprised if Liz Garbus gets nominated for Best Director of a documentary series. I wouldn't be, because I mean she did a wonderful job. She really, really, really did. But she's been known, and she is an Emmy award winning director already when it comes to documentaries. Okay, she's won Emmys already. I don't know why I'm getting tongue tied saying Emmy, but Liz Garbus, she is not new to this. She is not new to getting nominated for Emmys, and she has won Emmys already for being the director of a documentary series. So Harry and Meghan did a great job hiring her, because it's my understanding that she was not the original director, that they had some British director before, right? And he was trying to push them in an direction that they did not want to go. So they let him go and they hired Liz Garbus. So thank God they did. See, that's one thing about our faves. They know what's best for them. And that's what we as squatties have to remember. They know what's best for them. Okay? We don't know everything. We don't. All right. So, LA Times. If you have a chance, go ahead and read that article. Story Syndicate. All right. There, I took that comment off so you guys can actually see it. LA Times, Harry and Meghan was a chance to share the journey of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Okay. Okay, you guys remember this story? Remember? Mad Dogs and Englishmen? Remember the story that, they gave Prince Archie a bike for his fourth birthday. And of course, the haters swarmed their Facebook page and trashed them, right? And then a lot of the comments, they were saying, why did you give a privileged child a bike? Why not give an underprivileged child a bike, etc., etc., etc. Okay. And Mad Dog and Englishman, their response was, a lot of people obviously aren't aware, but we've been donating bikes to underprivileged children for years. Those of us that know us, right, are already aware that we've been donating we've been donating bikes to underprivileged children for years. However, we will go ahead and do a fundraiser so we can buy bikes and donate them to, I guess, different charities or whatever the case may be. Right? So what's awesome is that, they had this fundraiser, and of course a lot of squatties went ahead and donated money, and I think they raised like what, $22,000, something like that, which is fine. That's great. Me personally, I didn't donate. No, not this one. I didn't donate. I'll stick to the birthday fundraisers and stuff like that, because I know for a fact that money goes directly to those charities. Right? I didn't know what these people were going to do with that money. I mean, I don't know that much about Mad Dogs and Englishmen, but for those of you who donated, great. Okay, people are allowed to do what they want to do with their money. Okay. So, the owners of Mad Dogs and Englishmen, they put this video out. Let's see. Do I have the video? Let me upload it. Hold on. They did put a video out to where I think over 75 bikes, which is awesome. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah, I do. Okay, so here's the owners of Mad Dogs and Englishmen, where they showcase all of the bikes that they bought, and which is what is so awesome about this is that at the end of the day, right, these bikes, right, were fundraised. The fundraising was still basically in honor of Prince Archie's birthday, and these 75 bikes will be given to underprivileged children in honor of Prince Archie's birthday. So it's a win-win situation at the end of the day. But here you go.
Cause there's a possibility of positivity, a possibility of positivity. Stop taking in the negativity, because you were born free.
Did you guys hear the song though? I mean, that's why I showed the video. That's one of the reasons why I showed the video, because I thought the song was just so uplifting and it made me smile. Okay. I'm gonna play it again and really listen to the words. Really listen to the words.
Cause there's a possibility of positivity, a possibility of positivity. Stop taking in the negativity, because you were born free.
Did you guys hear the words? There's a possibility of positivity. Stop taking in the negativity. Right? I mean, that's powerful. And it's uplifting. So shout out to Mad Dogs and Englishmen for all that they've done. It was a win-win situation at the end of the day, right? It was a win-win situation at the end of the day. And I'm pretty sure the Montecito community was very, very, very proud, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Montecito donated to the fundraising as well. Okay, so we have to give a hand clap to the people of Montecito as well. You know, they Mad Dogs and Englishmen, they did a positive thing in honor of Prince Archie's name, and Success Squad as well. So awesome, awesome, awesome. And there's a possibility of positivity. There is always a possibility of positivity, and stop taking in the negativity. Awesome song. Awesome song. And that's a lot of bikes. That is a lot of bikes, guys. Right? I think it was like 75 bikes, if I'm not mistaken. 75 bikes, and probably more. Okay, close to 100 children are going to get brand new bikes. So awesome, 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 awesome. All right, so I'm going back into the chat. Yes, yes, yes. If you are not a subscriber, please go on ahead and hit the subscribe button. And please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. Elizabeth says, Harry is their runaway slave. I refuse to call Charles king. It's hard to call him king. I want to call him Prince Charles so bad. Okay, so you read the article and it was pretty good. Okay, so Mina Ruth 2093 says that she read the article and it's pretty good. And I'm talking about the LA Times article that Liz Garbus, the director of the Harry and Meghan docuseries, gave with the LA Times. So please check out that article. All right, I'm still in the chat. How you doing, Marshar? So Marshar says the best thing is that the squad doesn't have a leader because Murdoch and the British rags would target any leaders of the squad. We are many and a powerful force that they can't stop nor understand. Very, very good. I absolutely agree. And that's the key. They don't understand, right? They don't understand. They don't get it. At first, they thought that we were just a lot of bots. Remember that was the the answer to that. The answer to why Harry and Meghan had supporters was because they felt that we were just a bunch of bots. Okay. But I think that changed when they realized that um, businesses were paying attention to us, right? You have businesses on social media that were giving us shout outs, right? I remember when Essence Magazine gave us a shout out, Coca Cola and Pepsi gave us a shout out. And what was it? Ah, it's at the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of them. Vanity Fair is another one that gave us a shout out. But there was another one, and I can't think of them. But they had posted something, and it said "Sexa Squad." I hope you guys are watching, and I can't remember. Oh my god, it's at the tip of my tongue, and I'll probably remember them when I end this podcast. But I believe that's when the tide started to change and they realized, whoa, wait a minute. Their supporters have some influence. And I think the hairs at the back of their neck stood out when Max Foster from CNN did that story. Remember that? After the Harry and Meghan interview with Oprah, and he did that story, basically denouncing everything that Meghan had said, basically making it seem like she was this liar. Remember that? And I mean, we all came together and contacted CNN. Remember that? And pointed out where Max Foster was wrong. And that story literally disappeared. Okay. I mean, for the most part, well, one thing I will say, CNN stopped, full stop, showing the story on CNN. And really, the only way you could see it is if you can go on YouTube. But then after a while, I think YouTube stopped showing it. Okay. And then on top of that, Max Foster, he kind of disappeared for a little while. Okay. Remember that? He kind of disappeared for a little while. I mean, and what I mean by that is, he didn't post on his Twitter page for a long time. And he slowly started to come back. Okay. I think that's when the hairs at the back of KP's neck stood up like, whoa, wait a minute. These guys have some influence. Okay. Ariane Barbie, another example. She told that lie. Talk about she saw the Harry and Meghan docuseries when she hadn't seen it yet. Okay. And we all got together and complained about her to CNN. And what ended up happening? They drop kicked her ass to the curb. Right. And she's still whining about that. Still whining. Still whining. Okay. So, but like Marshall says, they can't stop us. And there's a part of them that knows that they can't, but there's a part of them that feels like that they can what's the how am I trying to phrase this? I believe that the evil forces believe that they can kind of diminish our influence. And the way that they can diminish that a little bit is by causing confusion and tension within the squad. Okay. That's what their agenda is to cause confusion and tension within the squad. Because if we're fighting amongst against each other, then we're not supporting our faves. Okay. And when you cause fighting and tension within a movement, then eventually that movement is going to dismantle on its own. Many would argue that that's what has happened with the Black Lives Matter movement here in America. Okay. So that's their agenda, right? Is to cause that. But they don't understand us. They don't they're trying to label us, right? They really are. I'm going off to the left here. I'm getting off subject here. Well, actually I'm not because I'm talking about Sexist Squad, which are Harry and Meghan fans. So no, I'm not going off subject here. They're trying to label us like we're a whole bunch of black women, right? Mostly American, single that are angry, right? And we're the only reason why we're supporting Harry and Meghan is because Meghan is half black, because Meghan's got a black mother, right? That's how they're trying to label us. But that is so far from the truth. Right. It is so far from the truth. I mean, the black members of the Sexual Squad, we may be the loudest, right? We may be the loudest, but or maybe even the most visible because a lot of us who run podcasts are black, right? But again, that's not a fair um it's not fair to paint the Sexist Squad like that with, with the brush, paintbrush us all like that. Um there are many of us that come from different races. I mean, you have black people in the Sexual Squad, you have a lot of Hispanics in the Sexual Squad, right? Who speak in their native language, right? How about the French squatties? You have a lot of people that are French in the Sexual Squad. And of course, I'm talking about people from different ethnic backgrounds. Um, we have a lot of Asians in the Sexual Squad, right? I mean, we're global, and that's just a fact that this is a global squad. Okay, and you have a lot of professionals in the Success Squad. A lot of professionals who work in media that are part of the Success Squad. Okay, I mean, look at people like Royal Suitor, media. Okay, I mean, Royal Suitor has a platform to where she can fight back against the negativity with facts, and she does it so eloquently. Okay. Does it so eloquently, uses facts, and she doesn't engage in the negativity. And I think that's where her power is and her influence is because she does not engage in the negativity. She can leave that to people like me. Okay. Right? She can leave that to people like me who are like, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," little, I'm coming back at you with full force. I don't give a damn, right? But and there are others. Okay. Um But, like I said, we got professionals in the Sexist Squad. We got a lot of veterans in the Sexist Squad. A lot of veterans in the Sexist Squad. Okay. And then, of course, you've got, you guys know what I'm trying to say. But they don't understand that. They don't get it. Okay. They just don't. And to me, the reason why they don't understand and they don't get it is because people like that live in this big echo chamber and they do not get out and touch grass. They just don't. Okay. Yep. I'm looking in the chat. I'm back in the chat. Yes. Kaboom. They did. Kaboom gave us a big shout out. Okay. I know. It just hit me. Okay. Citizens United, they gave us a huge shout out. Okay. A big one. And they didn't do it just once, they did it quite a few times. Right? Let me see here. Am I saying, is that the right agency that I'm talking about? You know, the Vax Live. When Harry and Meghan did the Vax Live, and we had gotten a lot of shout outs during that time. Hold on. They need to do another concert. Okay, so Vax Live, the concert to reunite the world. Remember, we had gotten so many shout outs from that. Okay, so I was saying it wrong. It's not Citizens United, Global Citizen Vax Live. So they had given us quite a few shout outs, right? And I thought that was pretty huge. All right, I'm going back into the chat. Yes, you're right. You're right, Callie Jen. Global Citizen. All right. Yes, there are. Anne says there are loads of South Africans in the Sexa Squad. Yes, there is. And you know the Caribbean. There are a lot of squaddies from the Caribbean that are in the Sexa Squad as well. I mean, we're just global. It's a global squad that they're trying to scare and that they're trying to diminish. And it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right. All right, guys. So we have come to an end of this podcast. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. We have. And, you know, I didn't mention it, but I wanted to mention it. In the same Wall Street Journal article where they were trashing Harry and Meghan, um, I guess to avoid a lawsuit, or I shouldn't say that, but I guess to try to appear like they were being objective, right? um, they did put in a quote from a spokesperson from Archwell Foundation. And gosh, can I pull this quote up real quick? I hope I have it. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the quote. Uh, okay. So in that Wall Street Journal article where they're basically trashing Harry and Meghan, saying that they're Hollywood flops, right? A spokesperson from Archwell Foundation said that, beginning quote, new companies often make changes in their startup phase, both with people and strategy. And we are no, hold on. Oh, my phone went crazy. I'll start over again. Spokesperson from Archwell Foundation says new companies often make changes in their startup phase, both with people and strategy, and we are no exception. We're more equipped, focused, and energized than ever before. She said the company recently hired a new head of scripted content, actress and producer Tracy Ryerson. A Netflix spokeswoman said the company valued its Archwell partnership and noted that Harry and Meghan was its biggest documentary debut. We'll continue to work together on a number of projects, she said. So, you know, the Wall Street Journal, they had to throw those in there so they can appear that they were being objective. Yeah, okay. But Harry and Meghan via WME had already said with their whole chest that Meghan was already working on new content in regards to archetypes on another platform. Okay, so that's a done deal. And to be honest, I honestly fully believe that Harry and Meghan had already made up in their minds that they were not going to stay with Spotify when the whole not Joe Rogan controversy was going on. Remember that? Remember that with Joe Rogan and India Irie jumped ship. Who else? There was all kinds of people who jumped ship from Spotify. The Obamas left, and people were wondering if Harry and Meghan were going to leave. And Harry and Meghan, said that they were in talks with Spotify and they decided to stay. Well, I believe during that time it was already established that they were going to do 12 podcasts and that was it, and they were going to bounce. And I think all these stories about them not renewing a second season, I think it's just Spotify to a certain degree trying to cover themselves. I do. Spotify financially realized that signing these big contracts with huge famous people, um, even though the podcasts are very, very successful, they're still not making a profit. And I think Spotify is realizing that they just aren't financially, they don't have the financial infrastructure to be signing these huge contracts. They just don't. So they need to be mad at their business people and not mad at the famous people that they sign these huge contracts for. Because at the end of the day, these podcasts are very, very successful. So it's not a reflection of the Obamas. It's not a reflection of Harry and Meghan. It's a reflection of Spotify's very shallow financial infrastructure. And maybe the chickens have come home to roost on Spotify. Maybe that's what they get for paying the music artists such little money, when they play their music on Spotify. So anyway, like I said, we've come to the end of this podcast. Um, just stay positive. Do your best to stay positive. I mean, it's going to be this way uh, for a while because Prince Harry's got these lawsuits going on. It's Prince Harry versus the toxic press. And it's just, we can no longer just label it the British toxic press. It's the toxic press, period. Because Murdoch has now sanctioned um, facets of the American press to participate in this as well. Okay, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, TMZ, who else? Just whoever he's got a relationship with, Bloomberg, that's another one, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. Just focus on the objective positivity of the media news outlets like the LA Times. Sometimes the New York Times is objective. Um, uh, there's another one. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but and as a content creator and as somebody who's got a Twitter page, I will uh ensure that I'm more focused on the positivity as well. All right. All right. So, guys, thank you for listening to this live podcast of Success Talk. If you are not a subscriber to Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And everybody, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. Megan, Duchess of Advocacy, we are on Twitter and we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Let's see what else. We've got the Invictus Games coming up. And we all know that I'm pretty sure that an announcement is going to come out real soon about archetypes. It being showcased on a different media platform. A lot of people are kind of suspecting that Archwell Productions may sign a deal with Audible. Who knows, right? Who knows? Me personally, I hope that Archwell Productions um, distributes Archetypes itself. I hope they just showcase Archetypes podcasts on Archwell Foundation website. I really do because Harry and Meghan own it. They own it. They own Archetypes. Okay. Spotify was just a distributor. I Spotify is just a distributor. So there you go. All right. So those of you who want to donate to Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast, if you just go on the main page and if you go to the banner, you will see that I do have a PayPal. You can buy me a coffee. So if you want to donate to the podcast, that's fine. We appreciate it. Again, I've been demonetized for 30 days. So I have 20 something days to think about if there's certain podcasts that they want me to delete. I have to think about if I want to delete them or not. I don't know. I might delete them and I might not delete them. We'll see. Huh. But anyway, I thank you guys for all of your support because for me, it's not about the money. Um, it's just about supporting our faves and just making sure that there's alternative, positive pro success podcasts out there. Okay. So I was on some website and I saw this positive quote. So I wanted to read this to you guys. Okay. So beginning of the quote. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. I just love that positive quote. Don't you guys? I mean, it gives me butterflies. It makes me feel better. I'm gonna read it again. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Wow. And this is by an author and a poet. The name is I think they spell the last name Milme. Okay. So awesome, awesome positive quote. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So you guys ready? Are you guys ready for our rebel yell? You ready? All right. Here we go. One, two, three. Continue to wear the SS on your chest because you know that we are the best. Success Squad. No bad energy. Think positivity because positivity is always possible, no matter the circumstances. All right, guys. I'll see you guys soon. Okay. And continue to wear that SS on your chest. Please continue to wear it. Continue to wear it. They can't steal our joy. Okay. And they cannot break our souls. All right, guys. See you guys soon.